Okay, welcome back for part 4 of Behind the Scenes with Lucy and Wanda Clark, who was there for a good 25 years of that time, of her life anyway. So you ladies were talking about Carol Burnett and stuff. I'd like to take a step back, if we could, to go back to the pre-Wanda days. We're talking I Love Lucy. One of the things that I remember our textbook saying in college was that the water usage went up in the big towns after I Love Lucy showed, because everyone wanted to wait and take their shower after the show.
Or even flush the bathroom. I've heard that as long as forever. And I think that was published, newspaper articles about that. I think it was a fact. During commercials, they'd run to the bathroom or something. And I heard that about some other show that was so popular. But I believe that's true, Tim, even though I wasn't there at the time.
Well, The Honeymooners was playing during that time as well, wasn't it? And it was kind of a short-lived thing.
Yeah, I was always surprised to see there's only one season of The Honeymooners.
Because a lot of people know of The Honeymooners.
Yeah, because it was so famous and Gleason was so popular.
Yeah. Did Lucy ever talk about Jackie Gleason, or did he ever come around? Or?
He did do a show, or maybe two, not I Love Lucy as far as I know, but he did the Lucy show. And I think the whole bit of the show was Jack Benny was involved. They were renting a room in Palm Springs, and at I think Gleason as, what was the Honeymooners' name? What was his name?
Ralph
Cramden.
Cramden, yes.
He drove a bus full of tourists into the neighborhood, I think and I think he did it another time. But that I remember, driving that bus as a character. And Lucy did a few shows with Benny, because Benny was her next door neighbor on Roxbury Drive. Somewhere in that time, in the 60s, the paper or a magazine, maybe it was Life magazine, published a story that Roxbury Drive had more celebrities on it than any other street in the world. Because Jack Benny lived on one side of Lucy, Jimmy Stewart lived on the other side, and Rosemary Clooney lived across the street, Agnes Moorehead.
I Love Lucy lady.
Yeah, Agnes Moorehead, she would walk over and visit Lucy. I was there several times when Agnes would just walk over, knock on the door and say hi.
What about Jimmy Stewart? You mentioned Jimmy Stewart. Did you ever get to meet him?
I did. I don't think he did a Lucy show, but I met him at Lucy's a few times. And Lucy told the funniest story. She'd tell it on all the talk shows, Dick Cavett and Johnny Carson, that she had a new couple working for her, cook and a housekeeper. And Jimmy Stewart was proud of his garden. He had 2 whole lots, the home in one, and the second one was his garden, flowers and vegetables. So he would come to Lucy's house, walk across the drive, come in the side door, knock on that side, and this new couple entered the door and saw a man there with an old hat and a sweater and a basket of vegetables. And they says, no, we have vegetable man, and shut the door. Jimmy Stewart went back home and called her and says, well, you don't want my vegetables anymore? So I just love it, because the couple hadn't been in this country very long.
Yeah, they didn't know who he was.
No, they didn't. And he didn't look like Jimmy Stewart.
Well, yeah, I was saying he wasn't like even really recognizable.
Anyway, Lucy told that story so often. I just loved it. But
were you ever like starstruck when you worked for her?
You know, I guess not. I don't know why. I certainly knew Lucille Ball was a big name, but the first day of work, she told me, you come to the office Monday for the first table read of the script for the week was on Mondays, and then Tuesday they were on their feet rehearsing. Wednesday had a dress rehearsal, and some more camera marked blockings and things on Thursdays, and they shot the show Thursday evening. But Lucy said, I'm doing a photo shoot Saturday with Look magazine, and I had worked for Look before I started working for Cleo. And she said, you don't have to be there, it's Saturday, but if you want to, you can come. Well, I wasn't going to turn that down.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to the house on Saturday, and I knew the Look magazine people, and it was fun to see Lucy in action.
What did you do at Looks before?
Worked in the advertising department.
Okay.
There were two men in advertising. And Cleo, that's where I met Cleo Smith. She worked in the publicity man, and there was an editor. The home office at Look was in New York, of course, but the West Coast office had that small staff. And that's where I met Cleo, and when I left there, I went to work at Queen for a day, but it was canceled just weeks after I started work. And by that time, Cleo was working for Lucy at the studio. And that's when I called her and said I'd be looking for a job soon if she if you heard of anything.
You're like, hey, keep me in mind.
And that's when, in that time, Lucy and Desi had shared a secretary. But when the secretary went with Desi when they split up, I got to know him much later in life. He's a wonderful man.
It had been hard work.
Oh,
For both of them?
Yeah, it was hard. And plus, Desi was doing all that work, not just a weekly show. But anyway, Lucy said she didn't need a secretary. She said, what do I need a secretary for? I do my job. And after a few meetings with department heads, decisions that had to be made.
I gotta need a secretary.
Being the owner of the studio, she says, maybe I do need a secretary.
Maybe I better rethink that.
And that's when Cleo said, well, I know a girl. Do you want to interview her? And Lucy said, no. I mean, I got the job. But
So did you know Cleo was related to
Yeah,
Lucy?
yeah.
All right.
we always knew that.
But never starstruck by anyone that came.
Oh, I was watching. I was on the set every minute I had. I'd take a folder full of work down, letters to sign or pictures to sign, and wait till she had a break. But I'd sit in the bleachers and watch rehearsal as much as I could.
And that sounds like a good stopping point, and
Okay.
let's pick that up on the next segment.
You're a good director too, Tim.
Well, thank you. We'll be back on the next video with Wanda Clark behind the scenes.